It's the end of August, and this was always going to be pre-reset-ember. Because, as I've already stated earlier in the year, there was a time when the channel was feeling possibly stagnant. Maybe that's the right word for it. And I felt like a change was needed. The perfect time for the channel of Mr. Super Oz to change is during Reset-ember. The concept of my own personal New Year's resolution period. And after the open rolls, I'll break down all the changes coming in the month of September and beyond. So as I said, it was always going to be a pre-reset-ember video right here. The concept of what has changed, what is changing, what is to come, how things will be planned and released and done. But I was talking to Aaron Johnson, the artist from BC Brute and the upcoming Uniter and the Unhinged project from Gamble Comics. Just, general how's it going, update on life type thing. And he said to me, it's the never ending battle. And as soon as I saw that text, I said, yeah, that's definitely the title of this video, Never Ending Battle. And the Reset-ember would become the subtitle because of the idea in my mind. Not only is everybody facing a battle, but my battle here on the channel has been to both find enjoyment from doing the content and bring enjoyment to those who view it, so as to become appointment viewing and make it so that my ideas are something people want to partake in, whether it be the legitimate reason for the channel existing, that being Gamble Comics and the comics that come out from it, such as Everlasting Survivors and BC Brute, which are available now via the link in the description of this or any other video, but also even not just in a selling format, but the idea of so many of the ideas both myself and Mr. Super Oz's amazing friends have here on the channel. So primarily the videos I put out on the channel are based around my imagination, because again, the idea of the channel is to allow people to understand how I think, so as to hopefully make it so they want to read the stories I write. And so with that, so much of the content that is released is, it's not, yes, some of them are reviews, but overall, and even a review is how I think of a thing. So everything, whether it's the triple shots, where I tell you what I think will happen, what I want to happen in a wild card pick, whether it's a review of a movie or a show, even a comic, whatever the case may be, it's always bringing the audience into my way of thinking, again, with the goal being that the audience will find it valuable and want to help make Gamble Comics successful, viable, able to continue, if you will. So the big change, and I've done this the whole time the channel exists. So originally, I would release one video over the weekend. I did that for 2-3-ish months. And then within short order, the Wednesday night wrestling remix came into existence, and from there it became 2 guaranteed videos a week. Sunday and Wednesday, I said I'm not going to ask any more of you than the church. They meet on Sundays, they meet on Wednesdays. I'm not going to ask any more of you. And then lo and behold, I kept dropping extra videos. Like, the two weren't enough to get all the ideas out, and inevitably I got to the place where Mondays were movie reviews, Tuesdays were trivia, but have since morphed into gimmick swap and Oz's favorites. Wednesdays have, since the launch of the Wednesday Night Wrestling Remix, been me, and then subsequently me and Josiah, rewriting wrestling history on Wednesdays. Thursdays, for the longest, was comic trivia. It's 100 episodes. That's how long that went. And after that, Thursdays have become known for my life in sketches, 365 prompts. And Fridays have been a grab bag of pay-per-views, wrestling reviews, TV show reviews, video game reviews, all kinds of different content, but not as nailed down as all the other days. And so with that, like I've always done, so start with 1 guarantee, move to 2 guarantee with sprinkles in between, now evolved up to 5 guarantee. Thank you for being here at Mr. Super Oz. This video is going out, and this channel only exists because I, Oz, founded Gamble Comics, which first release was Everlasting Survivors, a 68-page graphic novel called All Day Long. Available now. Follow the link in the description that will take you to gamblecomics.com. While there you can get hats, shirts, posters, much, much more, but most importantly, the story itself. I'm going over the edge when it comes to September, and the best phraseology I can come up with is the more things change, the more things stay the same. Because even though things are changing in days of release and certain content, most of the stuff stays the same except for when it comes out. Because for the first time in channel history since I began rewriting wrestling history, the release of the rewrite will happen on the day that the show would have aired in real time. So Alpha Entertainment Worldwide Monday Night Raw will begin releasing in September on Mondays, because that makes good common sense. Tuesdays will remain a rotating short content of either my favorite champion, match, any number of options, or the imaginary gimmick swap, where I take something that is known for one character and say, let's give this person a shot at playing that, just for funsies. Wednesdays is the biggest change, but we'll get there last. Thursday will be Alpha Entertainment Worldwide SmackDown release day, because of Thursday being when SmackDown released for a while. I mean, it moved to Friday, then it moved to Tuesday. I think it might have went back to Thursday and then went back to Friday. But the point is, in September, the Alpha Entertainment Worldwide SmackDown will be releasing on Thursdays. Fridays will become Flash of Art Fridays, where starting in September, I'm going to actually look back before we move forward with the 365-day prompt book, because throughout all of the month of September, I am going to show off, I'm going to say 18 to 20-year-old art, because I was hanging out with Jeff Hicks from World Class Bullshitters, and I showed him some drawings I had found from the past, and he was like, man, you had it. You could have been doing this the whole time. And the funny thing is, had 30-some-odd-year-old Oz's brain been in 20-something-year-old Oz's body, I agree with him. But the difference is, young me didn't have the same drive or understanding for working toward the goal as older me does. All throughout September, on Fridays, for Flash of Art Friday, it'll be a September special, if you will, where we look back at old sketches on the channel before, in October, returning back to the prompt book. Saturdays will become cinematic Saturdays. So the videos that would have previously released on Mondays for Monday movies will move to Saturdays, which will actually be really nice for things that are in theaters and staying on point. And also it'll allow more time, hopefully, to bring people in to get their points of view, because that's one of the big points of the change, which is I want to be able to accentuate more guests to allow the channel to have fun. I mean, that's really, until such time as the channel is profitable, the primary goal, well, it's twofold. One, exposure to Gamble comics, and two, having a good time. Whether it be me or the viewer, preferably both. And, obviously the guests as well, because that's very important. You want the guests to have a good time. And Sundays, because one day wasn't enough, 2 days weren't enough, 5 days aren't enough, going to 7 days a week. Sundays will become what I'm entertainingly calling Sunday Fun Day in the planning stages. And it'll be where Alpha Entertainment Worldwide's pay-per-views fall. It'll be where pay-per-view reviews fall. And it will be where, a triple shot for an upcoming movie where I say, oh, I think this will happen, I want this to happen, and this is my wild card pick for that movie type thing will go down. Obviously, it's where TV show reviews, video game reviews, things of that nature will land, is on Sunday Fun Day. But Wednesday, the day that I skipped, is the biggest addition to the channel, and that will be 52 weeks of a Bible study where Mrs. Super Oz will go over a book that we got with questions about each chapter that we went over throughout the week. We will have, if all goes well, we will have potentially a guest or multiple guests with us to talk about their perspective as well. And it's just a new aspect or avenue to take the channel to see things. The concept of BC Brute happening before the biblical flood and happening in so many of the known locales. And so, yeah, like I said, the more things change, the more they stay the same. And so every time that I make a change to the channel, as far as content goes, it's always an increase. There might come a day, there could come a time where that has to change, because maybe I'll burn myself out going 7 days a week. But it's a chance I have to take, because this channel has been going on so long. And I've been, in my opinion, so consistent with releasing that I just think that giving up is a guaranteed loss. So can't do that. But also B, I have to see if this is the answer. Because if this is what it takes, if 7 days is what it takes to grow the channel, to get to the ability to be monetized, so as to be able to do more topical videos, because that's the funny thing. I know for a fact that anything that is topical, timely, in the now, gets the most views. Lilo and Stitch, 1 week later, one of the top viewed videos from the channel. Creature Commandos, 1 week later, one of the most viewed videos on the channel. And so I know that being topical gets eyeballs because it hits that trend. But until such time as the channel can get monetized, it's really hard for me to stay on or in the now. So I'm going to try going 7 days a week and see if that will help. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the change that comes during Pre-reset-ember And I know everybody's got the never-ending battle. And I know, honestly, my never-ending battle of trying to be what I need to be for people to tune in is not, it is a good problem to have, I'll be honest. Because if I didn't have the capability of doing this, then I could be still writing comics, paying artists, and not getting known. But I have the capacity to make the content, so I'm going to, and try to make fans and subscribers happy with what I put out. So thank you for tuning in. Come back for September and see how everything plays out later.